Welcome back to the final episode of this year's YouTube series, and what a season it has been. It has been incredible. There has been so many ups, so many downs, mostly ups though, but a huge, phenomenal season. So what we're going to do today, guys, is I'm going to give you a bit of a roundup on this year, some highlights for me, give a bit of a mention to everyone who's competed this year as well. A huge thank you to everyone who has been on my team this year and has contributed to my success. I wouldn't be where I am if it wasn't for you guys. You know, we're a team, we work together. It has been my best year to date. We have achieved some phenomenal placings. We are on, let's get the roundup. We are on 1 pro card from an IFBB. We are on 1 PCA pro card. We have had 1 IFBB top 3, 5 IFBB top 10s, 1 PCA top 3 pro, 8 overalls, 9 overalls, 7 of which are 2 bros, 45 first places, 21 seconds and 13 thirds. What an absolutely phenomenal season. Like I say, a huge thank you to everyone. It has definitely been a great season for me in terms of continuing to establish myself as one of the best coaches in the country. I don't mean that in a cocky way, but the results do all the talking. You know, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys. So yeah, a huge thank you from me. So to kick off the episode, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and do my absolute best to just give a bit of a roundup on everyone who has taken part this year, and a little bit of a, you know, talk around some of the highs and some of the lows for me. So kicking off the season, first up was Sammy, who did 2 shows this year. He did the 2 Bros first show of the season and did the PCA Saxon. Sammy unfortunately was very unlucky this year and just come up against some monsters in some of the classes he'd done, but brought some fantastic looks to the stage. So that was a fantastic way to kick off the season. Brandon, who needs no introduction, Brandon obviously won his IFBB Pro card this year. He also then followed into the Pro Show to place 3rd in his first ever Pro Show. He also won the overall, let's not forget, at the first regional. So an overall win, a Pro card win and a top 3. And also he won himself a wife as well at the end of it, by proposing to Ellie on stage, which you will all remember. So that was a fantastic start to the season for the boys. Next up was a guy called Tom, who some of you guys won't be familiar with, did his first show in men's physique and got a 2nd place. We then moved on to the first show of the season for the ladies. So I had a girl called Layla who joined me just for a 3-week period to bring her in for her show. She did a show the day before she joined me and was prepped by somebody else, to which she finished, I think, 9th or something in her class. She joined me 3 weeks later. We got her a top 3. She got 2nd place in a class of 11. So that was really good for Layla. From then, we then moved on to Danny Boy. Danny, I can't actually remember exactly how many shows he did this year. I want to say it was about 7. And I definitely can't remember every single one of his placings, but he did win an overall, which was the goal. He got 1st place and then multiple 2nds and 3rds across the season. He did, I think, 3 2 Bro shows, 1 FitX show, 4 PCA and 1 Pro qualifier for Portugal. I might have got that wrong, but it weren't a far off bad guess. But a huge, phenomenal season for Danny. We wanted to get that overall and we got exactly that. So yeah, he definitely added to the tally this year. So thanks, mate. I really appreciate it. We cannot forget Mrs. Hands, so Christy, quite possibly one of the best rookie seasons you will ever see. Christy winning her first show and the overall, to which she then went and won the overall the next day at the PCA Pro qualifier, won a PCA Pro card, got a 3rd place in the Pro show as a debut. We then switched over to the IFBB, to which she then got 2 class wins in her regionals for 2 Bros, just missing out in the overall in both. She was 2nd in both of those overall, so we was very close there. She then took part in the Ireland Pro qualifier. Definitely one of the moments of the season. Oh, I feel like I've got a flashlight going on over there. We're back. That light was there to just make me look younger. So I was saying...
Sorry, guys.
I was saying Christy went over to Ireland to do the Ireland Pro qualifier. definitely one of the moments of a season that unfortunately was a bit of a downer. She just got beat in the overall. I'm not going to be picky and say we should have won, because it's very subjective, but the feedback we got was that we needed to be fuller, and you could argue that she was fuller than the gal who won, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles. So a great season for Christy. I'm still in a strobe. We then went into the Portugal show for Christy. Unfortunately didn't get what we went for there, so we wrapped up the season there for Christy, but a huge season for her. Next up to probably talk about, I can't leave him out, it's the boss. It was me. I had a weekend of competing where on the Saturday I did a men's physique show, and on the Sunday I did a bodybuilding show. I did win both, and I just got beat in the overall in both, which really still eats away at me. I think that's 5 overalls now that I've still not won, and I've had feedback to say that I was second in all of them, so a bit of a fucker for me, but it is what it is. Charles, cannot forget Charles, so fantastic season for her. We aimed to just beat the package that we bought for the last time she stepped on stage. So she did the PCA show with me, she also did a Two Bros regional, and she also went out to Portugal, so some great show experience for her. Definitely what we needed, just to get into the mix, get a bit more stage experience, where we will go into an off season now and we will come back even better the next time we go on stage. Next is going to be Chloe, so a great first season for her. So we finally managed to get her on stage after years and years of trying. So she took part in her first Two Bros show, to which she got a 3rd place and a 1st place, which meant she went into the overall, which was brilliant. Also, we had Lauren, which is Christy's sister, so a fantastic rookie season for her too. So she got 2 first places at the regional and a 2nd, and I believe from memory she also got a top 5 in the Portugal Pro Qualifier. An epic first season for her. And then there was then Kirsty. So Kirsty did 2 shows this year. First show was the Two Bros regional, and then we went out to Portugal, of which Kirsty did get the best result of the weekend. She got a 3rd place in bikini in a very stacked class. The validation we needed, because she has got a fantastic structure. Everything is there for Kirsty. It's just about getting a little bit more, and she will come back and do some damage next time she steps on stage. And then from this blast of shows, I cannot forget, last but not least, my boy Aston. So a fantastic season for him, getting his overall in Classic Physique. He also got a 1st place in PCA Classic, 2nd and a 1st in bodybuilding, and also a top 5 at the Portugal Pro Qualifier as well. A phenomenal season for him. So super happy with that. We then moved into the next part of the season, which was the second half now. So Calvin, I'm not going to talk about Calv too much, because I definitely did a lot of that on my stories, but a great year on paper for us, but not quite what we wanted. Austria, a huge disappointment, the biggest disappointment of the year for me. One of my best friends, he was centre stage for 15 minutes of his class, to which he then got moved out for the last 30 seconds and then lost to the Pro Card winner. Still don't really understand what happened that day, but that's just the way it is. We got multiple show wins after that at Pro Qualifiers, multiple class wins. Not forgetting he also won the overall at the regional. So a phenomenal year for Calvin. Next time we come back on stage, it's going to be a clean sweep. He'll get the card, he'll go straight into a pro show, and he will do some damage in that pro show as well. Also, then first show of the season was Noel, the Wigan show. So Noel's first show working with me, so we jumped into the Wigan regional, and she also did the Austria Pro Qualifier, 1st place in both of them, and she got beat in the overall by both gals who are now pros. She was so close in Austria, just narrowly missed out on the pro card. She was 2nd in the overall there as well, so that was a huge achievement for her. Next up was the first proper run for the pros of the season, was Marnie. So Marnie went out to America and competed in the Texas show and the Nashville show. Definitely got those right. 2 top 10s in both of those shows. Again, the validation we needed. Last time we went out to America, we was at the backer end of the 16s mark. So to get 2 top 10s in America, one of which was in front of Tyler Mannion, absolutely fantastic. Marnie then come back over to the UK. She then jumped into the Europeans in a very, very stacked lineup and secured another top 10. So 3 top 10s for Marnie in her first proper season as a pro. Last year was off the back of her pro card win, to which she'd been dieting for a very long time. So this was our first proper season. So an epic, epic season for Marnie. Then after Marnie was my boy Corral, jumping in to his first pro show of the season. So he did the Europeans, flew over from South Africa, to which you're all, for any of you that have seen the Instagram, he was absolutely peeled to the bone, getting a top 10 finish in classic physique, which is not an easy doing job. So a huge well done to him. We will go into off season now. Again, we got the validation we needed that he's there. We just need to get more size on. But yeah, he absolutely smashed it, and it was so nice to have him over, actually spend some time with him. And you know, it's the first time we've ever met in person, so really enjoyed that. You'll notice we've now got the light back on. Oh, little flicker. No, we're back. So next up to the season was Joe. Another, again, on paper, a fantastic season, not quite what we wanted. So Joe got his overall win, back-to-back overalls from last year, which was phenomenal. We then went into the Milan Pro Qualifier, the European Pro Qualifier, and the France Pro Qualifier. 2 first places and a third. The last one of the season, we got told that the head judge come on the microphone before he announced the overall and said it was evens, but we had to give it to someone. To be told that and then not be that person was an absolute stinker. Again, one of the biggest disappointments of the season for me, absolutely gutted, but we can't take it away from, again, a phenomenal season for Joe. So close to that pro card, and I don't doubt that the next time Joe gets on stage, he will definitely win that pro card. Next up for the season was Sophie. So Sophie did her first season with me. She is a bit of a, I wouldn't say a seasoned competitor. She's been come out of retirement from about 3 years back. She did some of the first 2 bro shows when they first come in. So Sophie took part in bikini, multiple first places across her classes. She also went out to Bulgaria and took part in the pro qualifier there, to which she won. So a great season for Sophie as well. We also took part in fitness, so she had a bit of a dabble across both classes, so that was really good to see. I've not had a go in fitness before, so that was new for me, so that was really good and I enjoyed that. Next up was Mr. Coles, so a very last minute decision from him. We initially pulled prep, started reversing, and then realised that as we was doing it, he just continued to look better and better. So he jumped into the PCA Manchester show and he got 2nd place in Men's Physique Masters. A guy who beat him was very good, but a great look we brought to the show for that day. Also competed on the same day was my boy George, Charles Fella. What a whirlwind of a journey that one was. So those of you who don't know, he's a type 1 diabetic. Managing someone who is a type 1 diabetic into show was absolute chaos. George, I'm not going to talk about what you've done, but he did nearly kill himself. But luckily the boy's still here and he absolutely smashed it. To even get on stage while managing that is a huge accomplishment. And the next time we go on stage, I don't doubt that he will definitely absolutely smash it. We learned so much this time round, so and he's definitely learned something this time round. For those of you that want to know, go and ask him what he'd done. But yeah, a great showing for George on his first, a great showing for George on his first show. Then next up for the season was Rachel. So Rachel took part in the 2 bros shows for bikini. So Rachel did fantastic, got 2nd in her regional. Unfortunately, no placing in the pro qualifier, but the goal for Rachel was to just bring an improved package from the last time she stepped on stage, which is exactly what she's done. And she's absolutely nailed her reverse diet on the way out. So super well done to Rach, because she's absolutely smashing it. Next up was Kirsten. So she joined me off the back of qualifying for PCA finals. I then basically dieted her in for finals. We did 1 show prior to finals, to which we got a 3rd place. But then we had that a little bit longer for me to be able to just bring her in that little bit sharper into finals, to which she got a top 5 at the British finals for Masters Bikini, which was absolutely fantastic considering she'd only got 3rd places in regionals prior to that day. Then after Kirsten was Ellie. She also took part at the PCA British finals. So Ellie qualified with another coach previously earlier on in the year, to which she got a 4th place in a regional. We then went into the PCA British Finals, and she actually got 7th and got invited to the Worlds, which was a phenomenal achievement in wellness for her. She's very new to competing, and the progress we made pretty much in a 5-month period where we spent most of it dieting and we still managed to grow was absolutely fantastic. Next up was my boy Toby. So he joined with a view to just get himself into good nick and reverse. I managed to convince him to get on stage, and the package we bought was absolutely phenomenal. He was inside out peeled, receiving a 3rd place at PCA in Classic. Arguably everyone that day said to me how he didn't win, one of them again, but a great package for Tobes, and he's absolutely nailing his reverse, which was his initial goal as well. So yeah, huge well done to him as well. We are getting near to the end now. Next up was Abby. So Abby joined 7 weeks out from his first show to do the mixed disability class. So for those of you who haven't seen, Abby is the guy in the wheelchair, and he literally walked into his first show, cleaned up and smashed it, to which he then went on to the PCA British Finals and got a top 5 there as well. So this year he will go again, and we will aim to go after that British spot. He is absolutely smashing it. Again, nailing his reverse. He still looks fantastic. He's done great for his first season as well. Then there is Carly. So Carly joined earlier part of this year. We had a bit of a sticky start to the season in terms of the prep. Her body just wasn't really doing what we wanted it to do. But then literally all of a sudden we made a few changes, and she absolutely plummeted down exactly where we needed her to do. She then did the PCA show, FitX show, and also did PCA finals, and got a top 3 placing at the FitX show. So huge well done to Carly. She is also absolutely nailing her reverse. If you haven't noticed, these guys that are all nailing their reverses are at the back end of the season. So she's literally smashing it. She's on about 3,000 calories now. She has not missed a beat. So a huge well done to Carly. Then we are on the final ones of a season. So we have got Andrea, who took part in the Two Bros show. Absolutely smashed it. She got a 3rd place in novice. In my opinion, should have been placed way higher. I had so many people message me the next day just like, how did she not win? Again, I feel like in this video I've done too many of these, it is what it is, but it is what it is. I've had some results go my way this year that maybe shouldn't have, and some that have not, but unfortunately didn't go our way with Andrea, but the plan was to again bring an improved look from the last time she stepped on stage, to which she did. We will now focus on growing, and I believe we put a bit more growth in her, she will come back and do some serious damage. We have then got Jade, who also took part in a Two Bros show. So again, absolutely smashed it. Jade got 2 top 3 placings at her first show of the season. She's still a junior. She's fantastic to coach. She does not miss a beat. Every single day she checks in, she does what I ask of her, doesn't complain, doesn't moan, just gets on with it. And she's absolutely smashing her reverse as well. And then we have got Sophie. So Sophie joined off the back of with a previous coach who was absolutely run her into the ground. So we did our absolute best to try and bring the best look we could for Soph. She squeezed the top 5 in the first Two Bros show of the season, which was fantastic. And she is now just working through her reverse. The next time Sophie steps on stage, she will do some damage. She has got the perfect look from an NPC bikini standpoint. And if I'm actually doing her diet the whole time this time around, it will be so much better for her next time. So super excited to see Sophie next time she steps on stage and the package that we bring. Then we have got 2 more left. So Scott is the last one of the males of the season. So Scott jumped into some pure elite shows at the back end of the season. Got, I think, 4 placings. He got 3 placings and then a placing in the pro show as well. I think he won the pro show actually. So a great season for Scott as well. Then last but not least, Emily, final one of the season for me. So jumping in right in the deep end in Kazakhstan into the Bikini Open class against Ashley Kay. So she got to stand next to her, and Em looked fantastic. We brought a brilliant look. We got the validation that we need, that she definitely can jump in with these pros that are not natty and hold her own, which was fantastic. She then jumped into the Benwida. Unfortunately, for those of you that have seen Instagram, it didn't go to plan as we hoped. Em was unfortunately still in her car when she got called to go on for her class, so she didn't get the chance to pump up, she didn't get the chance to eat a meal, she went on like 2 hours earlier than expected. So unfortunately we didn't get to showcase the proper look that we wanted to, but the morning look and the look we bought for him was by far the best we've bought to date, so a huge well done. So that is everyone. I think I've got everyone. I'm definitely going to have to do a check after this to check that I've got everyone, because that was a tough task. Luke even looked stressed just looking at him. So guys, that is a roundup of the season. Like I say, some real big highlights in there. You know, Brandon Pro Card, Christy Pro Card, you know, the overall wins in there. There were some phenomenal wins for the season. So yeah, super excited for next season. I've got a roster of athletes that is even better than this one. I've got everyone that I had this year plus more. So the plan is, like I said last season, like I said the season before, we're going to keep doing damage. We're going to keep turning up to shows. We're going to keep cleaning up. There's going to be more pro cards next year across both federations. It is going to be a banger. For now, I'm going to enjoy some downtime. I've definitely needed it. You fuckers have stressed me right out. But no, jokes aside, I'm looking forward to some downtime before the season starts. I'm only about 2 weeks in with no shows, and I'm probably going to stay in the next few weeks. I'll start missing it again. But for the moment, I'm going to enjoy the downtime, focus on my own bodybuilding, try and get some size on, probably say I'm not going to compete next year, come out of retirement and probably do what I normally do, because I'm an idiot like that. But no, jokes aside, everyone, thank you very much for those of you that have been, as I say, a contribution to my season. For those of you that are not my clients, but you also watch the YouTube, thank you as well. I hope you've enjoyed the season. We will be doing another season next year, so Luke will still have to be stuck with me. He'll still have them nice pleasant drives to Braywick. We'll still get continuous banter. The one bonus I do have this year, for those of you who have watched the series, I won't have to tan Brandon's arsehole this year because he's not competing next year. So hopefully that means I can, you know, get a little bit of a break from tanning men's arse cracks. Luke's sitting absolutely dying behind the camera. But yeah, that's it, guys. I'm going to stop fucking talking because if you actually saw the first take of this, you'd have been bored shitless by now. So if you're not bored by now, brilliant. If you are bored, you'll get over it. I hope you all have a wonderful Christmas. As always, like, comment, subscribe. But yeah, we will see you next year.